We have a quorum. It's good. Let's see. First item, does anyone have any issues with the minutes there from the September meeting? Because we did not have an October meeting.
Long ago to remember.
Motion to approve.
Second. Okay. Minutes are approved. Thank you. Next meeting is going to be 8th of December at 5 p.m. Correspondence, not a lot of correspondence considering it's been a month and a half. Received a couple of requests for status on the Sun is Shining. That's the Vitale dock application. Got requests from Mr. Horowitz's attorney and from Mr. Horowitz just looking into the status. We haven't received anything, so it was tabled by the applicant's contractor, so it remains dormant for the time being. Also received a notice of the required sexual harassment prevention training. Has anyone done that yet?
Not this year.
Again?
Yeah, again, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's out there. So I believe there's a time limitation on that, which is probably already passed, but something to be aware of that we have to do. Third item was we got a notice from the U.S. Coast Guard, and the notice stated that they have suspended the coastal buoy modernization program. They received over 3,000 comments, one of which was ours, and they decided that therefore requires further analysis. So a responsive branch of government. That's it for correspondence. Bo, you have anything for us?
We finished taking out all the buoys, all the instant navigation on, I guess it's Thursday, we finished pulling them out, we got everything stored away on Friday, so summer is officially over. So just be aware, if you're on the water, there's no local aids to navigation. Now, if you're having customers come in, they've been there before or got a nice set of tracks to follow. But yeah, that's really all I have for you. No.
How late do you leave the boats in?
The boats stay in year round.
Oh, really?
You only take them out to service them. You have to go make
Huh? Okay.
barring some, in some exceptional frost or something like that, where everything was frozen solid, we try to keep them in to keep the two creeks open. Even if there's skim ice, we'll go out and we'll run back and forth just to keep the skim ice open. But if it gets beyond what the boat can do, then obviously we pull it out until that let up.
Good to know. Okay, as far as a briefing on my part, there's been a real dearth of dock applications over the past couple of months. I have a theory about that, but it doesn't really matter. Either way, I think now that the elections are over, that we'll probably start seeing them roll in again. If it continues to be, light activity or limited application activity, there's a couple of things I'd like to follow up on that came up this year. One was the combination pump out boat, workboat that was in the works. Are you, Bo, would you be willing to look into that again, or are you?
It's on the agenda for additional discussions at some yet to be determined date.
Well, let me know and I'll
There
update.
continues to be a significant amount of money in the Waterways Fund, unallocated for any other purposes. So it continues to be something that I have my eye on.
Well, and if it's a combination pump out boat, there's a significant amount of money available for the purchase. Yeah, I think it's somewhere in the $60,000 range, if I remember correctly. And there is some money available for maintenance, not a lot, but some under grants. So, if you want to kick that around, I think that'd be worthwhile. The other item that came up from a couple of different people was obtaining a special permit from the state to extend Shelter Island's jurisdiction over the 1,500 feet from the shoreline in South Smith Cove and along Mashomick. So people are concerned about speed limits. We had the Owners Association down in South Ferry Hills bring it up that, close to shore, they're getting a lot of activity from jet skis, from the hired ski boats and in and out of the mooring area down there. And I know out in Major's Cove, they've now started using that protected area as a ski area, which is, you've got boats anchored there, and all of a sudden somebody comes through with one of those boats going 15 miles per hour, throwing a 3-foot wake. It's, pretty disturbing. So hopefully we have time to get into some of that. The other item was the budget for Waterways. Just a brief update. A couple of years ago, the then supervisor, before Amber's time, suggested that additional expenses be assigned to Waterways, like all of Bo's salary and a couple other large expenses. Not that that's a large expense.
Probably the largest expense out of that fund.
Yeah, and that sort of put things in limbo. So not a lot came into or went out of the Waterways Fund for a period. So instead of covering all of those expenses, I think a much more rational and fair setup has been put in place where we pick up just portions. And basically, it's just a part of the constable's salary, really for that time that's spent putting navigational aids in and taking them out. And for the use of the workboat to do that. So they're really pretty much nominal compared to what we were looking at before. There is that item I was talking about earlier as far as expenses go on bulkhead repair. So, the expense items are our clerk, administrative assistants, we pick up small pieces of boating equipment expense, buoys, town landing maintenance, Congan Creek dock maintenance, dredging requirements, boat maintenance, again, a small item just to do with the workboat. The one, larger item is bulkheads. So what we were talking about earlier was what bulkheads we should be really responsible for. In our permitting process, we only look at bulkheads that are below mean high water, so that they make contact with the water, not bulkheads that are upland. There was one done over at Dawn Lane a year or two ago, and I believe it was picked up by the highway department, the expense.
I was just going to ask, don't we do emergency repairs such as that? Does that come out of our fund too? I thought that it did. I'm just trying to figure out what bulkheads we would be or should be responsible for. Yeah.
Because there's different types of bulkheads, upland bulkheads, and there's bulkheads that are subject to water. It's marine water action. So the one that we're looking at now, or is being considered now, is at South Silver Beach. So I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but I believe it's undermining, and I imagine it's
Mess. Yeah, it's a mess.
out.
Yeah.
James, do you notice, have you looked at it? Is it in contact?
It's washed out behind it, and it's, you know, it's dangerous. You can't use it.
But is it because of wave activity, or is it just because
It's
of?
going out. The boat
I think it's the sheathing's shot.
So-
You know, among other things, but I think the water, you know, it's just leaching out. You know, when the waves hit it, I mean, certainly it's because the waves hit it, but
Well, that's why I'm wondering if it's above. So it's below mean. It's probably below mean high water
at these days, yes, probably it is.
these days. If not this year, next year. All right.
Didn't they
and then
do a fix last year out there somewhere? Didn't they
That's the
fix
other
some-
one.
They did the other one. the
North
next
Silver
one down.
Beach.
Oh, okay, they did. Okay, I got you.
we did that one too. That's right.
That was worse.
It was an emergency, and I think it was very interesting. It was, they built a bulkhead behind what was existing, which was pretty slick.
The new one behind the old.
There's a new one, there's a new vinyl bulkhead behind what was existing. Yeah, which was, I think it was just it was an emergency. They had to do something, and that's what they did. 'Cause there's no permit for that. There was no permit pulled for that.
How
That
far
was-
behind?
That was a
No,
repair. That was a repair.
That was a repair. Oh, okay.
All right. Well, it'll be interesting. You should take a look at South Silver Beach, and just
As I say, it's not accessible for boaters, so it shouldn't come from Waterways.
I think that's a reasonable viewpoint. I just don't know that that's ever been used to make a determination before. Is about bulkheads or
Whether they're used by boats or not.
It's protecting the land. It's got nothing to do with boater fees. They have no special use of that. That's the general citizenry that has access to that particular landing. Which is very different from, let's say, the lagoon landing, lagoon bulkhead. They're diametrically opposed.
Is there something somewhere in, like, say, the Waterways Committee's charter that defines what we're actually responsible
Yes.
for?
yeah, and it's fairly. I'm not going to say it's vague or specific, but it's a little bit. There's some detail there. I don't want to spend 15 minutes going through this file looking for it. It's in there someplace. But
No.
I will pull it up, and we've also considered rewriting the charter, but at least clarifying it. But it talks about protecting marine environment, which is
It does do that
exactly
because
so.
it's stopping upland wash out.
Right. So it's subject to interpretation, I would say. But Tom, I'll pull it out and I will circulate it, just so we
Okay,
can.
great. Thanks. Yeah. Okay.
Like the end of Shell Beach, if that bulkhead is actually doing anything, would that be one that we would, because that one would fill in the channel, right? So,
The one it's shelled, the one it's,
yeah,
it runs out and it's just sort of falling apart.
yeah. I mean, but there was also more of an upland one that stops some of the other stuff from coming down.
Oh, yeah, it's like a really low one now.
Qualify because you're protecting your navigational entry to West Neck Harbor. I mean, I'm just,
Yeah. Well, we would probably argue against it, and the highway department would probably argue with you.
It's probably worth having maybe a broader philosophical conversation with DPW and probably more specifically the town engineer, right? Because they collectively maintain a list of all the town's water-related infrastructure. And they have, at least to some extent, and sort of a rolling, extending timeline of its usefulness, when it'll have to be replaced, how much it'll cost, et cetera, capital management type stuff. And all of that is generally looked at in terms of taxpayer-funded maintenance and upkeep of taxpayer assets. The Waterways Fund seems like it may be better used to supplement those sorts of things rather than a us versus them type of deal where this one will be responsible for and that's what you'll be responsible for. They're all town assets. They all need to be maintained and replaced periodically, whatever that period may be. But the Waterways Fund may better be used like it has been in the past for one-off, totally unusual, couldn't possibly put this in a town budget for a single year type of projects like repairing the bulkhead at Taylor's Island, an emergency fix at Dawn Lane, like one-off things that are just would spike the budget 3, 4, 5% in and of itself, year to year to year. That's probably, at least in my view, where it would fit a little better to try to offset those sorts of things. But, because at the end of the day, it's still gonna be DPW who's processing all the work,
Right.
executing, the contracts, gonna be tasked with the maintenance and upkeep anyway. It's not like you're gonna continue to backfeed, okay, well, you mowed around that bulkhead at that particular landing, we'll pay for that. Like it doesn't get that sort of fine, So maybe a conversation with Joe and Kenny Lewis.
Yeah, I guess. I imagine it's going to come down to people protecting their pockets of money.
Their budgets.
And ours is all fee generated. I mean, what we did pick up, I should point out, is the Deering Harbor Congan Creek dockage fees now flow into this reserve fund, which is
Who paid for the repair at the end of North Silver Beach Road?
probably highway. I don't know. I don't know who paid for Dawn Lane or so it'd be interesting.
That's not Dawn Lane. It was back in 2021, and it was paid for out of the Waterways money.
Dawn Lane was?
But the North Silver Beach one, I think came out of Public Works.
Interesting.
So there originally no rhyme or reason exactly.
Well, so Dawn Lane, that probably is exposed. Is it exposed to the water? Or is it
Dawn Lane?
And a heavy sea it is.
Yeah,
could be.
A heavy sea, but it's not usable by boaters.
Yeah, I know. It's
Dawn Lane isn't a boater's thing at all. No, there's
Oh.
very shallow water, way out.
Way out.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
not as could be. I mean, you wouldn't.
so Dawn Lane was paid for by,
It looks like it when I'm looking at the budget for the 2021 year. Money came from other funds. I'm guessing, yeah, it says Waterways.
North Silver Beach was highway. Yeah, it's,
There you go. That doesn't answer anything.
Never increased.
1 for 1. Maybe we just keep doing it that way. It's like, you do this one, we'll do that one. It's like where the money is, basically. All right. So, that's all I had in my briefing. So as far as, like I said, no new applications, none that were tabled have come back to us. As far as old business, we've got the Royer bulkhead non-compliance issue. So the more I have dug into this, the deeper the hole gets. And I'm working with the building department now to kind of get it straightened out, just so we can get this thing cleaned up and permitted. But they've got a 190-foot bulkhead down there, and what they did in 2024 without a town permit or a DCE permit was replace 96 feet of it. But the contractor submitted plans for 190 feet. So that just caused me to start looking into it and try to figure out where the other 94 feet went. They were actually done over the period of 2017 to 2019, all of it done without DEC or town permits. So now it just becomes a, bigger issue. The response I got when I asked about that was that it was all it was an emergency repair, but the fact that it was done over 2 years kind of belies the fact that it was an emergency. But I'm sure it was all, anyway, they did the 94 feet back then. So anyway, I'm working on it with Reed, and we'll figure something out to get it. I don't know what they have to do, quite honestly, as far as the DEC goes. But we'll get it.
There was a permit to take a certain amount of sand out, and they took out 5 times as much, I think.
Yeah, I know. And they put it all over.
They put it all over, yeah, yep.
Yeah. The only place they didn't put it was in front of the bulkhead. They didn't put it there again, but they dumped a lot on Silver Beach Association property, which no one seemed.
I think Marcelo took a lot of that, too.
Yeah, there was a lot. It was like 3 times what the permit was.
It's more than whatever they said it was.
Yeah. So it's a problem. I mean, the good part is that, the fine for this kind of thing in the past was a couple $100, and now it's thousands. So hopefully that will deter this kind of activity going forward. I don't think it impacts the work they did back in 2017 and 19, but hopefully it'll be a deterrence going forward. The other item was the status of the town dock rules and regulations and the wait lists procedures. So they are slated for approval on December 1st by the town board. The wait list procedures for moorings and for Congdon Creek, there were a couple of changes the town board made since our last draft. They did add a fee of $20 to be on the wait list. And they now require a boater's safety certificate, which makes sense. As far as the town dock rules and regulations, they added a limitation of use section, which prohibits storage of gear and everything around the slip that's being utilized. And that's for all the different town docks. And the fees are set or will be set. They've been bumped up to $1,000 a year for a slip, except for commercial fishermen, they'll be $350 a year for a slip. So, finally getting it in place. And again, the good part is that these are rules and regulations that can be changed much more easily than trying to adopt new legislation. So, and the last item is our meetings list for 2026. Yeah, hard to look this far ahead and know whether you have any issues, but there's the list. So you got it. Doesn't, if there is a lot of activity, we can, come January, we got 2 dates to deal with it in a short period of time, the 26th of January and February 9th. And that's all I got. Anyone have anything else?
Sounds like dinner.
Yeah, I talked with the town clerk-elect the other day, right? We have a new town clerk coming in, and she has no prior affiliation with the office, which represents a fairly new change from how that office has been run for the past 60 years. And so she just wanted to kind of sort of formally introduce herself to the Waterways role that she may be filling now, and is interested in updating and modernizing forms, applications, processes, whatever might need to be looked at or could stand a little bit of a fresh coat of paint, if you will. So the reason I'm saying this is, if you have anything in the back of your minds, with whether it's regard to how a form is physically laid out, right? Application form for a dock or a mooring or fill in the blank.
We just did the dock.
Yeah, so, right.
But mooring, yeah, okay.
Right, it may be an opportunity to say, hey, well, you're coming in here, you're gonna change the name on the letterhead, maybe we would also like you to correct this typo, or something as simple as that, all the way up to, we want this other bit of information. So just keep that in the back of your mind. I'm gonna be working with her extensively over the coming months, trying to get her up to speed on some of the more back-end stuff, online moorings and all that sort of thing, so she seems eager and willing to be involved in Waterways stuff to the extent that she's supposed to be, so.
Okay. Well, she might pick up on things, on the form that are lacking in the form.
There was a list of questions that came to me already.
Okay.
She's apparently pretty thorough, so.
Okay. Good. All right.
Can I ask a couple questions, just because I'm looking at our town board meeting and reconvening some applications. So I just wanted to double check, since Albert and Benjamin aren't here, Pike, did you ever,
It was tabled.
it was tabled, okay. And then Teutonis, looks like that was tabled as well.
They were coming back with possibly another configuration.
Another design, yeah, that was tabled also.
And then we just covered Vitale, and you did do Thompson last meeting.
Thompson?
Yes.
So was it bulkhead?
A bulkhead application, sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
bulkhead, not- Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure,
Yeah, the three outstanding, I believe, were all tabled by the contractor.
okay, yeah, I guess we will not be able to close any of those then, because we won't have your report.
We got nothing.
Stays meeting later, okay.
Or
Thank you.
14.
Okay, just trying to stay on top of all of this.
But somebody is. That's it? Motion to adjourn?
Bill,
So
real quick, Bill.
Tom, where you been?
If you're gonna be in touch with Reed, Karen, I guess, in your talks with the building department there,
Yeah,
can you check on the status of the dock that's been deteriorating out in Westmoreland? Find out where that is in the paperwork process of what's happening there. The reason I'm bringing it up
is he
again is,
aware of, what, do you want to add an address or anything for it?
well, it's the same dock. There was a floating dock that disintegrated up against it, and it's just deteriorating further and further. Apparently, the town's known about it. It was the old Roseboom estate. The judge's
Where the boat shed, the railway in the,
No, it's
No,
at the end.
it's not that one. It's the other one up the creek more towards the mouth of the creek. It's
Chris Rowe has bought the house he's doing, it's right next to the rebuilding, it's right next to his father's house, John Rowe's house at the end. And it's been an ongoing derelict dock for years, the building department has been aware of it.
I'm just wondering what the status is on their
Over that
awareness.
period of
Yeah.
time.
The reason I'm asking is because I found a giant section of floating dock up on the marsh grass a couple of weeks ago when I was out there, and I don't know whether it's from that dock, but it's just a sign of things that are deteriorating. We can't have them floating around in the water like that.
so is it a row property now?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just so I know who to
Very
refer.
humble one up in the end of Benantic,
37.
off Cove Way or something, I guess it must be.
That's another one?
It's another one where the dock looks like there's a significant amount of neglect. This last time I was up there in October.
Yeah, I'll mention it to him, Tom.
Okay, thanks, Bill.
Anybody else hiding out there? Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thanks.
Motion.
Have a nice Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you, you too.